I know it has been, oh my gosh, it feels like it's been forever, but it's only been 3 weeks, which does seem like an eternity in quilting time. So, I have a drink here. I've kind of little bit of thirst going on tonight. So, hopefully everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Weather was beautiful here in the Tulsa area today. I have heard from lots of you saying it's beautiful where you are. Earlier in the chat, I heard some South Carolinians saying it's a little chilly for their liking, but I think 41 actually sounds nice after we had below zero going on in Tulsa last week. So, anyway, we've got a lot of catching up to do tonight. I'm going to be talking a little bit about sewing room organization. We're going to touch on a few little things because I'll share more next week with that as well. We're going to catch up on some quilt alongs that we were doing, especially you'll see Valentine's Day. The Valentine's Day quilt along that we were working on, I got mine long armed and bound today. Yes, I did. I'm not like my friend Angela Walters, who just leaves the binding to, miraculously get done on its own. But I'm having a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time working on that quilt. I think it turned out so fun. And I'm going to talk about some things coming up in the summer. And I'm going to catch you up on all the things that's been going on around here. So we're going to start out though. You might notice I have a little mappy map up here. I thought it would be super fun to start tracking where you guys come from that are sending me your quilts because I just think it's cool, when I start shipping these out and I'm like, where did these I know I have friends in Connecticut and New York now and in Georgia. And so you are represented and you probably can't see it really good. John, can you give me an overhead shot, hit number 2? Hope that you can see that. But hopefully you can see where you guys are, where you're landing on the map. And I've got friends up here and I've got new friends down here. So I just thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm going to be hanging this in my studio to represent where you come from when you send me your quilts. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of fun. My husband just left me. I don't know where he's going. Hit number 1, please. We're going back to the front screen, but anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was kind of fun. I just like being able to visualize where you all are out there in the world. So um, we're going to talk a little bit about some organization things for your sewing studio. And I think some of the biggest things that I hear from you guys is around fabric organization. How do I store it? How do I, keep up with all my scraps, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about pattern storage. So those are 2 big things that we're always dealing with. And so I want to kind of share a few little hints and tidbits. So starting with pre-cuts. So pre-cuts, you guys, well, I'm going to set you up with the first golden rule of the day. And this may shock you and you may be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that or not. I set a new rule for myself a year ago saying I was no longer going to quote have what I call a stash. You guys we all have stashes, and I know we do, but I was no longer going to contribute to my stash anymore. And there's a reason for that because I was overrun with it. I had fabric everywhere and a lot of fabric that I hadn't been using. And so there was a really fun garage sale that was happening in Tulsa last year at one of the quilt shops. And I participated in that. And I really had a sit down with myself. And I'm like, am I actually going to use this fabric anymore? And if you go back to one of my previous videos, I shared with you guys some of those ideas on how to kind of work through that decision tree. Do I still need this or do I not? And if I don't need it, then I'm going to give that away or I'm going to sell it. And that just gives you so much freedom. So I want to start with let's consider not bringing in anything unless we have a plan for it. And if you have a plan for it, that makes perfect sense, right? So if you've got a plan for it, bring it in. But if you don't have a plan for it, you need to really stop and ask yourself, why am I buying this? I know it's pretty, but if I don't have a pattern to go with it and I don't have a plan for when I'm going to make it, I may be wasting my time with that and I may need to say no. So I wanted to start there. But fabrics, when we get them, we have pre-cuts and things. I found these fun baskets on Amazon and they're small. And you might notice, like, Leslie, you might say, how can you actually even fit anything for a quilt in it? Well, you actually can, believe it or not. And I'm going to show you. how I'm using it. Let me put this. These are empty. Yeah, I have empty baskets. Um, I am working on a new quilt for actually a couple that John and I we watch on Sunday nights. We watch Keep Your Daydream. If you've never heard of it, and you're an RVer and or even a traveler, they have the best channel, and they go around all. They camp at all the national parks, and they show you how to get started on your RVing and journey. And I just, oh my gosh, we love them. So Mark and Trish, I decided I was going to make them a quilt because I benefited so much from all of the things that they've taught us over the last 3 years that we've had our RV. And but I have everything. And John, if you want to give me Kimber too, I have everything in this little basket, believe it or not, that I'm going to do. And I've got I actually came up with the design on EQ8. So I'm going to do a little bit of a foundation paper um, situation around the borders. That's going to be my plan for that, but it's going to look really cool, I think. But like you can see in my basket, I've got, here's the panel, the national park panel that I'm going to be using. And then I selected all of my fat quarters that I was going to use to make that quilt. So it's not a lot of fabric, as you can see, but it takes up very little space. I can keep it in this basket until I'm ready to start working on it, but I have a plan for it. It's not just something that I purchased and I didn't have a plan for it. So it's got a little lid, and these little lids, they stack. And so you can you can label them. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's a good label. Oh, I'm upside down. It's got a good label on it so you can know what's in your basket at all times. Super cool. So I wanted to recommend this. I will put the link to this in the description at the end um, later on this evening after this goes live. But here's like another example. This is my white scraps, and we all have white scraps for backgrounds. So that's that one, and I've got it labeled. I've got this one actually is my Tula Pink scraps that I was working on. I don't have a ton of them, but I have enough that I'm like, I don't want to lose those. I don't want them just piled into some other scrap bin. I wanted to keep that designer separate. So you can kind of see how you can use these smaller bins instead of having big containers. And you can give me a front shot. Um, you can use things like this instead of having big containers for fabric. This really comes in handy, and it just doesn't take up a ton of space. So I wanted to share that with you first. Also, yardage, when you talk about, what's that? Video. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that in just 1 second. We'll do questions at the end so I don't get confused. But that's okay. But I want to talk about the next thing when you talk about yardage storage. So when we do yardage storage, I really don't keep a ton of yardage. And so now I'm in a place where if I'm buying a bolt of yardage for projects, then those go in my closet and they're all organized just as a bolt. If I have larger cuts of yardage, I have those folded and they're in my pretty cabinets. And you guys have seen that on my Instagram where I have some glass cabinets, and those are all stored there and they're on display. So I just don't generally keep tons of yardage. I used to. And if you're one that loves keeping yardage, I got rid of all of these last year when I decided not to do that anymore. But I used comic boards in order to do that, and I would just wrap them, and I would make sure that they're all wrapped pretty the same, that it looks nice. But like I said, I just don't keep them anymore. I don't keep tons of yardage on hand. So this is just how I do it. You guys are welcome to do it the way you want to do it. And then when it comes to patterns, so I have noticed, I don't know about you, but I've noticed most patterns are about the same size. They all kind of come in these, in these 5 by 7-ish sizes. And I want to make sure that I keep them all. And you're going to see my favorite Camille Ross Kelly here. Thimble Blossoms, I have made sure I keep all of hers in kind of one bit binder. And these I got on Amazon along with the little page protectors. But anytime I'm looking for a specific pattern or something that I'm wanting to share, this is always a great go-to. And are we on the screen too? I just can't see. Okay, and you'll notice here's my thimble blossoms, thimble blossoms, thimble blossoms, thimble blossoms. I mean, I keep all of her patterns together. And this is how I organize all my patterns. And then I'm not, running around like a chicken with my head cut off looking for a pattern. So that's how I do patterns. Rarely see anything larger than that. So I would just recommend having these little binders. And it's so fun because, like, my friends, they'll come over and they'll flip through my binders to see what I have on hand. And my youngins that come over, like my daughter Julia and her friends, they've come over and they get a chance to kind of look through what I have going on and if there's a pattern that they're interested in, and then they can go get their fabric, and it just makes it super easy. So, um, my idea for pattern storage. We'll take a pause there before we move on. John, any questions that I need to answer so far? Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, I- if you are you giving me two, please? Thank you. So I'm using these little gold push pins because I think they're pretty. And so I don't know if you guys can see these on here. But this is kind of the idea of the way that kind of works is that it's a foam board, and I had it printed with all the pretty stuff so I could see where you guys are all from, and I just think it's fun. So if you're interested in having me long arm, you'll get a pin on my long arming board, and I just think it's pretty cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, do I still cross stitch, and am I participating in Socialites 3 was the question. So, yes, I do still cross stitch when I have time to cross stitch. Lately, I have been super busy and I haven't even had a chance to pick up my needle, which really drives me crazy. I am going to participate in Socialites 3. I have still not figured out my fabric yet. And here's why I haven't figured it out. I feel like some of the blocks in Socialites 3 look like they're going to be pretty small. And were you giving me were you giving me an overhead shot? Um, I feel like they're going to be a little small, and I need to find the right print for those small blocks. And if you've gone back to any of my YouTube videos, I've got a YouTube video out there now that talks a lot about how to pick fabric for smaller blocks because not every print works. And a lot of the prints out there are kind of big. And so you really need a smaller print, something that feels more even like a background fabric that's got color. So it's not as easy as it seems. I just haven't landed on the right fabric combo yet. So that's the answer to that. What size are the binders? That's a great question. I will link them later, but I believe, let's see if it tells me on the back. Oh, it does not, but I think it's for a 5x7, and I think it's like a 1.5 inch binder. So I'll make sure to link this in my Amazon store at the end. It'll be also in the description in the show notes later on tonight. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to move this out. We're going to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day and the quilt along that we did with my friend Jennifer at the sewing house in Tennessee, which I love her so much. And by the way, she's running a huge sale right now on her horn furniture. And I don't know how many of you have reached out to me about my cutting table, about my sewing table. There is no one better than Jennifer to buy your furniture from, especially when it comes to horn furniture, because I don't know what it is. She is just exceptional. She has high levels of customer service, more than anybody I've ever seen. She personally makes sure that your furniture is delivered as expected, and she follows up with you. I mean, she's just fantastic, and she ships nationwide. She's running a 20% off. She's got a 20% off right now. And I believe there's a free mat involved with one of the cutting tables. So go check her out. The Sewing House, shop the Sewing House is on Instagram, but just go check her out online. She's fantastic. And I will link her in the show notes. But we did the Valentine's Day. It's a scrappy one by Fig Tree, and if you ordered this quilt kit, which a lot of you did, it was very scrappy and it comes with either you were had the choice of doing you can obviously do the hearts for Valentine's Day, but it also came with a couple of other options. And that makes that it all came unplugged. How about that? Wild. Okay, I'm so sorry, you guys, but I warned everybody in the chat leading up to tonight that we could have technical difficulties. So I'm going to try this again. My apologies, you guys. I am just so devastated by this. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Woo! Nothing like a crazy night to get everything going. So I am going to get back over here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Valentine scrap quilt along. And so John is going to pull up, hopefully, hopefully go to the Valentine's Day. Hopefully, give me thumbs up, you guys. What a wild night. I tell you, John turned around and everything came unplugged. That's exactly what happened. You know, when in doubt, just make sure. Yeah, it's PJ's fault, Susan. I think that's hilarious. Oh, and hey, Victoria. Victoria's at the sewing house in Collierville. So I am so sorry. You joined at the craziest time. I was just talking and bragging about how wonderful you guys are. So, anyways, we're going to talk a little bit about the Valentine's Day quilt along, and that is what we're going to pull up now. So, hopefully, we're there. John, that's not it. You need to go to John's showing. John, hit the Valentine's Day album. You fired after tonight. I'm totally calling Julia. She's coming. Double click that picture. I don't think I can laugh any harder, y'all. Oh my God. I need to sit down now. You guys, I had everything planned. This is what, okay, John's no longer allowed to work out on Thursday night. That's the plan. Okay. Oh my gosh, what a wild situation. Okay. I pre-cut, I had everything cut. I starched all my fabric. If you are wondering about starching, I always starch. I'm a starcher. That's what I do. And I starched a ton of fabric today. So if you missed that, you can check that out on my reels on Instagram today because it was a ton of fabric and you'll see how I attack that. But I did have all of my pieces all ready to go and cut. And I kind of thought I would show you a few videos along the way. So hopefully producer John. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, honey. Okay, so this was when I wanted to show you how using Acorn, the pressing glue, pressing mist. I don't know what they call it, but it's magic. I used it when I was pressing out all of my seams for this so long, and I just think it makes a huge difference when it comes to accuracy and the way everything lays flat. And so I just wanted to share that with you so that you can kind of see what that looks like. You can go to the next video, John. And then the next video, I'm kind of going over how I go about using my design wall to place all of the quilt blocks up ahead of time so that I know exactly how I'm going to use them and how they're going to be laid out. Are you hitting play? What's not coming up? Okay, just move on to the next one. That's my quilt, my design wall, and clearly the play's not coming up. Can you move that? Can you move that so that I can see? Just move that. Yeah. This is the worst show ever. And I love you guys for all staying tuned. You're probably now, it's like comic relief for you, just like it is for me. So did it play? Put your cursor across the bottom to see if there's nothing. Okay, go on to the next slide. Oh my gosh. Okay. They're not playing at all. Okay. I put together, I tell you what, if it's not playing tonight, it's fine. I will put these out there on a separate video on YouTube for you guys to reference. because I show not only like how I go about designing it, putting it on my wall, but how I use my wall as a tool for me to actually sew my blocks together. So I take the first two columns every time in a quilt. So I've got all my blocks on the design wall, and I just take those off in a um, at two at a time, and then I sew those together. So I was going to show that to you in these videos, but it doesn't look like they are coming up as a video. They're just coming up as a photo, and they shouldn't be. So go on to the next slide. Okay, let's just go out of that. Okay. I don't know why that's happening. Makes no sense. And now that tree, is that tree showing up? I'm telling you. Can you tell we've been like cooped up for 3 weeks and it's been kind of crazy? First week, I was sick so bad. Second week, I was gone to Angela Walters boot camp. And then the third week, well, then it was snowing and we were stuck in the house. And then our daughter in law fell and broke her leg. And so we then had three littles under 6 years old here at the house. So it was wild. And so we're out of rhythm, you guys. So I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing profusely because this is not my best. It's not our best, and so I am really sorry about that. Nothing like a live to get you back in the swing of things. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk a little bit about is Lori Holt, the farmer's daughter, and that has no slides. It's just a picture. So I want to make sure you guys can see this. And honestly, I'm going to be doing this quilt because I think it's amazing. John, can you give me screen 2? This is the farmer's daughter. This is the quilt kit. And the quilt kit in itself is huge. Look how thick this box is. This should give you an indicator of how much fabric is in this quilt kit. It's a ton. It's a ton of fabric. So I don't have any fabric in this one because it's all starched and outside drying, but just trust me, it is full. It is full of fabric. And what it also comes with is a sew along guide, and it's the Farm Fresh sew along guide. This quilt, you guys, is going to be 88.5 by 95.5. So it's huge. It's a huge, huge, huge quilt. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can see here all of the fabric requirements for this quilt. Look at this. This is why it's full. It is full of fabric. I can't even stress to you how much fabric is in this quilt kit. She has a schedule that you can go by, but I don't follow schedules. I follow it the way I want to follow it. So you've got January 5th, 26th, February 2nd. So no one is behind yet, really, because the first 2 weeks, the first week is really just getting prepared and understand what your blog, where to go for the blog. There's only been 10 of the blocks, and the blocks are small. So you can see like the baby chick, the baking day block, butter churn, the canning one. These are all of the smaller blocks. So you get to, she's only up here to cold watermelon. Guess what? I haven't done any of it yet. Not a single one. So we're all good. We're all good. We're not behind. We're not behind at all. We're just going to sew at our own pace. But I do have 2 more kits that I did buy because I know what happens. Can you give me a front shot? I know what happens when we get busy and it's been the holidays and maybe you didn't sign up for, you didn't pre-order a kit. I ordered 2 more kits so that someone could have a kit if they really, really wanted one. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm only going to do this for you guys that are watching this video, honestly, because I don't really want to offer it to anybody else. If you want to order the kit, I've got it online right now. I'm going to offer it. I'm going to do 10% off, which is crazy, but I'm going to do 10% off and I'll give you free shipping and I'm going to give you a free tote. This is the tote that goes with it and it's so stinking cute. So if you're watching tonight and you want that kit, I recommend that you go ahead and get ready to get on there and get it. I need to add I haven't updated the website yet. So if it still says $349, it's not going to be $349. It'll be 10% off of that. So, be ready. because I'm going to be updating that tonight after tonight's live. Okay, that is Farmer's Daughter, and that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Okay, let me see. What do I have? And it's a ton. By the way, it's also just a ton of fabric. So if you don't want to do the quilt along, and you're one of those stashers that I told you not to be, and you just want a bunch of fabric, that might be a really good way to do it because it's a ton of fabric. Questions? It does use, that's a great question. It does uses the Farm Girl Vintage 1 and 2. So there's 2 books that you'll need to have in addition to this to do the quilt. And most Lori Holt lovers already have these books because they're older. But I have them in my Amazon shop right now. If you want them, you can go get them. And there's one, if you, let's say you have one, you have Farm Girl Vintage 1 and you never got 2, or you got 2 and you never got 1, or you don't have either. I've got it in my shop where you can buy either one individually or as a bundle. So you can go out there and look at that. It's in my Amazon shop under Instagram. So you guys can go to Instagram bio and Amazon is there. Okay. Teresa, thank you for saying it's been very entertaining. You're precious, and that makes me so happy. Okay. So here's the next thing I'm going to share with you guys. This is going to be our summer sew along. And I'm going to need 30 of you. And I know that's a lot, but I need 30 of you to commit to this because it's going to be a big endeavor for me to do this. And because I'm going to be kitting these up for you. But I am obsessed. And when I say obsessed, I mean, I'm not kidding. I am completely obsessed with this quilt. It is, oh my gosh, it says it on the screen. Give me the name. I can't see it. Bluebird Patterns. Bluebird. Yes. And so Bluebird Patterns put this quilt together. It's so spectacular. What I love about it, it's out of Confetti Cottons by Riley Blake. That also means they're all solids, which also means it's not as expensive as like prints like that come out of Lori Holt or whatever. So it makes this quilt kit way more affordable, but it is a big kit. It's like 70.5 square. So it's a nice size quilt, but it's beautiful for summer. I know how we'll break it out. It will include the pattern, obviously. So I'll include the pattern and all the fabric that goes with to make the quilt top. And I will also include the fabric for the binding. You'll have to buy the backing separate, but it is going to be so pretty for summer. I cannot, oh my gosh, I can't wait. And it'll be only a short, like 6-week sew along. It won't be like something that drags out for months and months and months. Because there's certain blocks in it that are the same. So there's like 5 blocks in this quilt that we'll just create and then we'll put it all together in the last week. So I'm very excited about this quilt. It's only going to be $149. That's a bargain for a big quilt. And I may offer a special if you do it, and I may offer something for long arming if you do this so along with me. So I think it's fantastic. I'd love your feedback. But I've got to have 30 of you, and we'll do it as a pre-order because, and the reason is I have to buy bolts and bolts and bolts and bolts and bolts of fabric. And so for me to do that and make it worth my time and worth like anything, like we'd have to have about 30 people to sign up. So, if you're interested, let me know. And then I'll be getting this out as a pre-order so that we can get that done. Okay. Last but not least, get into some family updates. I am hopeful that John can pull up that slide deck, and we'll see if he can. I have all the faith in the world that he can make this happen. And he's going to smile at me when he has it. Oh, he just gave me a big smile. So I'm assuming we're good. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys, I took a quilt coat class from Matt Haar with Haar Craft Goods, and he is, oh my gosh, he's super talented. And if you're going to ask me where his patterns are from, I can't tell you because he just makes them up, like literally makes them up. So if you're interested in making the coat that I made, the quilt coat I made, please reach out to him on Instagram. He's lovely. He is the president of the Albuquerque Modern Quilt Guild, and he is just, oh my gosh, he's so fantastic to work with. I am sure he will give you information on how he could send you a pattern. So, but I love this quilt coat because it was John's grandmother's quilt, and I knew she bundled one of our kids up one night and sent the kids home with it, and I had no idea that it was as old as it was. But his mom let me know that she had talked to her sister, and they think it's at least 90 years old. And it was really falling apart. So before you all go, "Oh my gosh, how could you cut into that quilt?" It literally it was falling apart. All the way around the edges, it was so tattered and worn. Like it was either y'all, it wasn't going to make it 9 more years, much less 90 more years. So, I felt like this was the best way to give it another 90 years maybe. So, I cut it up, made a coat out of it, and I wear it all the time because it is cozy and it's so cute. So, I had to share that with you guys because I just think it's so wonderful. Okay. This is something that I made before I went to see my friend Angela. So I took a quilting business class from her. But this is actually my business book, like all my stuff, like receipts and my customers and the quilts I've done and all the things. And I was putting all my stuff together one night, and John was like, "What are you doing over there?" And I was like, "Well, I'm working on my business stuff." And then the next thing I know, I get up and I'm like, not cute. I need a cute binder. And so I went and found all the stickers of a lot of lovely people that have supported me along the way. And I made sure that they were all represented. And if I've reached out to you recently and you have a sticker, you know why now, because I've been trying to have all of you represented here because you mean so much to me. And I want to make sure that I look every time I do something with my business, I remember the people who have supported me and been there for me along the way. So, anyway, that is my business book. Now you get to see behind the scenes. Okay, this is me and my friend Krista. We went to the business class at Angela's, and we also went to Texas Roadhouse, and we had a really good time. And there's my favorite sweatshirt, my Art East sweatshirt. My friend John at Art East Quilting. He is so great. This sweatshirt he sent to me, and I literally wear it all the time. I got barbecue sauce all over it. And I was so upset. And so we got back to the Airbnb and I washed it. And I thought, okay, I'm getting it in the wash immediately and it's going to be perfect. It's going to be fine. I pulled it out and it was not fine. And I about had a meltdown. And so my friend Kara was coming up the next day to Long Arm Boot Camp. And so we're like, Kara, bring the spray and wash or the oxy or something, but I cannot dry this sweatshirt. I've got to get this out. And so she brought it up. We washed it again with the good stuff. It came out beautifully. And now I'm back to wearing my fun Art East sweatshirt all the time. So I love it. Okay. Quilt level on which one? Ask again what quilt level is. If you're talking about the summer one, the quilt level is gonna be beginner friendly. I think it's gonna be beginner, intermediate friendly. I don't It's not advanced by a long shot. And I think you're gonna be able to do some chain piecing along the way because you're gonna be repeating the same block in a lot of ways. So I would say it's probably between beginner and intermediate, but I don't think it's like it's not hard. It's not gonna be hard. Oh, John at Art East. John, I hope you heard that whole story about your sweatshirt debacle. Yeah, that was traumatic, but it's fine. And I know where I could have gotten a replacement if I needed one, but I got it all clean. Okay. What's that? Yes, we'll include for to sign up for the summer sew along. I will include all that information in the show notes later on this evening because we will do a pre-order. If we get the pre-order done and we get 30 pre-orders completed, then I'll be able to go ahead and place that order. So just stay tuned. You guys are so great. I know that quilt is, I know, I love it. Okay. Anything else? Oh, okay. What's the next? Okay, this is at boot camp. And oh my gosh, we had the best time. Angela Walters, if you have a long arm, or even if you're thinking about getting a long arm, that I would even say that actually, if you're thinking about getting a long arm and you're on the fence, it is worth a trip to Liberty, Missouri to spend some time with Angela Walters and learn from her on the front end. I think this would have benefited me before my long arm, to be honest. I learned so much. Don't get me wrong, I still learned a ton because I got to play with my machine in a different way than I'm doing, edge to edge. I got to do a lot of free motion while I was there. But I cannot I cannot recommend that enough. I think it's wonderful, and you learn how to load a long arm. You learn how to troubleshoot tension issues, all the things before you would even get one. So there you go. And she's having another one in April. So go check her out on quiltingismytherapy.com and find out more about long arm boot camp in April. Okay, I think I showed more pictures at her. Oh, there's me and my friend Kara who saved my day with the OxyClean. God love her. There's my friend Angela showing one of her fabulous quilts. And y'all, can we even like look at this? Look at this. Who does thread painting like this other than Angela Walters? She is so she's sick. She is just the sickest. Okay, and then a few more pictures. There were like 12 people in the boot camp. I'm just giving you even more pictures of these wonderful quilts that are hanging. Go back to that last one because I mean, for real, look at that. Look at that quilting. This is the freak Angela is, you guys. I mean, there's nobody like her. Of course, that's why Tula Pink has her quilting her quilts. But I mean, my gosh, look at that. Okay. Of course, this one, I love Angela's color choices. And if you've never seen this, oh, this is another thing. A lot of people don't know that she sells panels, and you can get like a panel on her website and you can just quilt on it. You don't have to piece that, because that was her big thing. Angela doesn't, I mean, she'll piece, but she doesn't really like to piece. She likes to quilt. And so she selfishly created a bunch of panels that look like you've pieced them, but they're really cheater panels. Like she just wants them, she wants to quilt them. So if you're interested in practicing, these are great ways to do that. Okay. Look at that. That's the one I'm working on right now. And I found that one in the quilt shop. So that is on my long arm as we speak. Oh, there's me and my buddy Angela. And oh my gosh, you guys, look at this one. So this one was called Negative Spaces, if you're curious what that one is. This one was one of her recent ones, and I did buy this one because I'm going to be practicing in negative spaces in order to be able to quilt my pixel quilt. If a lot of you have been following me for a long time, you've seen my pixel quilt of my grandmother. I haven't quilted it yet. I'd given it to Rochelle, and then I got a long arm, and she's like, you need to quilt it. And I'm like, you are so right. So I've been kind of mapping out what I want to do with that one. And so it's coming, but I want to play on something else before I actually start stitching on my grandma. So this is where I got the idea for my. So Angela has this long army. So she calls anybody that has purchased a long arm from her, they're her long army. And this is hanging up in her area. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a brilliant idea. I should do that with my customers who send quilts to me to quilt, and I can kind of see where they are in the country. So I totally stole that idea from Angela, or borrowed it. Here's another shot of our boot camp. Can't see what that is. Is that my quilt? Oh, this is one of customers' quilts. If you're watching, you know who you are. Keep going. And oh, okay. This is one of Crystal. Her name's Crystal. So if you're on, Crystal, I'm giving you props. These quilts were gorgeous. The last one was hers too. This one, she asked me to Baptist fan. And I'm not going to lie to you. I did Baptist fan on my very first quilt on my long arm, which is, I don't recommend, because Baptist fan is very hard. It's a hard thing to line up. And if you guys can hear squeaking, that's PJ. She's having a good time in here. But Baptist fan is really hard to line up, especially when you have to advance the quilt. All of the points need to match or it doesn't look good. And I really did a bang up terrible job on my first one. And so I had a little PTSD about, she's like, I want a Baptist fan. And I messaged Angela, and I'd just taken the Long Army boot camp, and I was feeling kind of confident. And I thought, I think I learned a lot about certain things that I think will help me make that better. I'm like, do you think I could do this, or should I just tell her we need to pick a different pattern? And she's like, you have this, go get it. And I was like, you are so right. I can totally do this. And so I just jumped in. I did all the things that I learned. And y'all, that Baptist fan, y'all can ask Crystal. I hope she's in here. She can drop it in chat. That is one of the best. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I do say so myself, it was an amazing Baptist fan. So it turned out great. And it's so pretty on that red. Okay, I can't tell what that is. Oh, that's some of my free motion stuff. I've been practicing with rulers and just playing. So this is one of the panels that I came home with from Angela's. So you can see that. Oh gosh, and there's my little Lila. Okay, y'all have been asking so many questions about Lila and how she doing with the sewing machine. Of course, we had the littles here while Mama was out with her broken leg, and Lila needed to sew. So we got her table out, we got her machine out, and oh my gosh, she went to town. She had so much fun. But not only did she have fun, but her little sister did. And you'll see that here in a minute. This is little sister. This is Landon, also known as Cherry, and she is a hoot. And we had so much fun with her. Is that Cherry? I came in, I was working in my studio, and I looked behind me, and I could see he was on Lila's sewing machine because Lila was at school and we had just the little one. And she was like, I need to sew. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're two. Um, but we might have taken a few stitches just so that she could really feel like a big girl. And this is the kids after I picked them up and drive 45 minutes to get back home after school. They were zonked. Okay, if you're squeamish, turn away. This is my daughter-in-law's leg. Everybody's been asking about this. This is her actual hardware in her leg. And if you can't, it looks like a bicycle chain going down her leg, but it's like knee to ankle. It's terrible. She's in a wheelchair, you guys. She can't go outside or anywhere without a wheelchair. And if you know anybody that is 30 years old that enjoys being in a wheelchair for things like this, it ain't her. Because she is a mover and a shaker. So I'm keeping her busy. I promised you guys I'd give an update on her. She had a rough day yesterday, nausea, couldn't keep her pain meds down, so she was in pain. It was just terrible. Today's been a much better day. I took over a ton of scrapbook stuff because I'm not scrapbooking anymore. I have plenty to do. So I took all my old scrapbooking things to her. She's so excited about it. It's going to keep her mind busy and her hands busy, so she'll have something to do. But she's doing much better today. So please keep praying for her. Her name is Sam. Okay. And there's all the littles. It was the bigs 100th day of school, and Gigi had to get out at 10 o'clock at night to go buy things to make T-shirts for their next day of school because I didn't know about it until 9:30. That's what we do. There's another picture of the panel quilt that I'm working on from Angela's, and I am having a blast free motioning. And if you're going to ask me, oh, are you going to start free motion quilting? No. My plan is to not do that for customers, not until I feel really confident. So I'm still edge to edge, but I'm learning. And I think that that's okay. And there's my baby. Lila and I went to see Beauty and the Beast. And let me just tell you, if you are anywhere near that production, and it is the Disney on Broadway production of Beauty and the Beast, it's a must. I don't care how much it is. You just need to do it. Sell a quilt and go. Because it's spectacular. I have never seen anything like it. It was awesome. Okay. Is that it? Okay. Well, that's it, you guys. Did I answer questions? Does anybody have any questions? Love using Angela's panels. Yeah. Her panels are amazing. Okay. Oh, John, such a quilt crush on Angela. For real. Like, don't we all? She's absolutely incredible. So I think we answered. If you've got any other questions, drop them in. I'm going to answer those here at the end. And I'm going to, again, apologize for all the crazy. But it's what it is, you guys. Well, oh, John just had a great idea that we should just put together a bloopers reel someday. And Lord knows we have plenty of material to do that. If you're interested in what I'm drinking out of, this is a swig. I always get questions later like, where's your shirt from? And what are you drinking? This is a swig that my friend Krista got me. And it is Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's Razorbacks. And it's the cutest thing. And Swig has a whole line of all kinds of cute cups out there and mugs and I don't know what all, but super fun. But I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with us tonight. If you have any long arm needs, please send them my way. I am loving it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy every part of it. And also, oh, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. So, if you're going to want to watch any more of the Valentine's Day scrap stuff, I will post a video on that. But I'm also going to be posting a video next week, and I'm working with Laura Star to do a little video next week, and they're going to let us do a giveaway. Yep, a Laura Star lift, and so it's just like mine. They're going to let you probably pick what color you want, but stay tuned for that. It'll be on Instagram. There will be a reel, and it's a like a Valentine's Day giveaway that they're going to do. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super awesome. What's that? Oh, yes. Make sure if you're not following me on Instagram, go do that too, obviously, because that's where the giveaway is going to be. But it's going to be so much fun. But I will update all the show notes tonight with all the links that we talked about here tonight, and information on the summer sew along. So stay tuned for more on that. But I have had so much fun, even through the technical difficulties. I had so much fun tonight. I hope you did too. I'm glad to be back. Next week, we won't have such crazy, and I'll talk more about sewing room organization. We'll tackle a couple of other topics. If you have ideas or you have questions about sewing room organization that you want me to consider, drop those in comments tonight as well. I would love to read those. I will be